Town of Santaquin remembers Sergeant Bill Hooser on the one-year mark of his death. That's where we find our Sarah Murphy live. Sarah, quite an emotional day there today.
Yeah, Brian, you can imagine this wet weather reflects the somber atmosphere, the somber day we're feeling here in Santaquin. We are live outside of City Hall. We spent a few days here in the area this week, having the privilege from hearing from family and friends of Sergeant Bill Hooser as they share intimate, heartwarming, heart-wrenching memories about his life and legacy he left behind. 1 year ago today, you'll remember he was hit and killed by a semi-truck driver right here on I-15 in Santaquin. We've noticed the continued community support we've seen, not just at this point last year, but in the weeks, months, year to follow. We had the opportunity to meet with some of the family yesterday as they spent their morning honoring Bill Hooser. We got to go along, and I want to share that with you now. Take a look.
Well, nice to meet you and welcome.
Warm greetings.
You're going to love Santaquin.
On a sunny start to the day.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out.
We're at the Santaquin Cemetery with Kinda Hooser.
Thank you for coming out.
Friends visit, wearing matching shirts, and kids are just kids running around. It's a hustle and bustle of getting prepared before the weather changes.
I think Grandma just got here, so we could get the ribbons and get started, because that doesn't look so promising that way.
There's one reason they're all here.
All the memories, just flood me, and I miss it so much.
1 year since he was killed on the job, family and friends are remembering Kinda's husband, Sergeant Bill Hooser. And for the former Santaquin police officer, what better way than blue?
How many ribbons?
There's 10 in each row.
Blue ribbons.
We kid that Bill would have loved every second of it.
He's probably soaking it all in.
And he's here with us today. He's still here with us. He's just not in person.
And you see that presence now along Santaquin Main Street with blue ribbons lining every light post. And remember that sunny day earlier? Well, it did change. Quickly.
I just hope this blows over fast.
Looking all too similar to the weather, May 5th, 2024, the day Sergeant Hooser died.
To see this weather 1 year later is hard because it's how it was that morning of.
But that weather doesn't stop those ribbons from going up and loved ones going back to the cemetery, reflecting.
I feel bad for a lot of our friends because I know Bill's gone, but right now so am I.
They say these are the moments friends become family.
You use all the time you need, and we'll all still be here.
So as bright as Bill Hooser's granddaughter's smile, family says the sun, however cloudy, does shine again after that rain on a May morning in Santaquin.
Well, you'll see, obviously, that wet weather has come back today, reminding us of this exact day at this point a year ago. You heard from the Hoosers. They say they've seen friends become family. ABC4's Kate Gardner met with Bill Hooser's work family. Listen to what they had to say.
Dedicated. That's the word everyone I spoke with used to describe Sergeant Bill Hooser, a man who took work seriously, but put just as much emphasis on building relationships.
It was one of those moments where I didn't know if it was real.
Sergeant Austin Lurwell refers to a phone call he got a year ago.
And I questioned it all the way up until the point of getting here and seeing the reality, praying that maybe it wasn't true.
But it was true.
And it's taken months for that to go away. Every time I got a call, I would wake up in a panic, answering that phone call, hoping that the words on the other end aren't that something similar to what's happened with Bill.
On May 5th, 2024, the man who trained Lurwell and was promoted to sergeant with him, Bill Hooser, died in the line of duty.
They call it a brotherhood of law enforcement. It's basically like having a best friend, right? Other than we literally will die for each other. And so that bond is just a little bit different.
That bond made it hard for Lurwell to return to the office the two shared.
Bill's items were still in there. He had his glasses sitting on the desk still. And I think it took me almost 6 months to move those glasses. And so for me, it's an everyday reminder every time I walk in that office that he's not here anymore.
But if he were here,
probably tell him thank you for everything that he taught me. I definitely am the officer I am today, single-handedly because of Bill. And so I would tell him thanks for everything he did for me, things I didn't realize that he did for me till he wasn't here.
Like Sergeant Lurwill,
It's a whirlwind, honestly. I look back and it's all a blur, but at the same time, it feels like it just happened yesterday. And I can remember all the details of that day.
Jenna Worthen will spend the day
He was just a very dedicated person in all aspects of his life.
thinking of Sergeant Hooser's legacy.
When he had his mind set to do something, he wanted to do it right and perfect. And I think we can all strive for that, for excellence.
And with that drive for excellence,
One thing I can say that Sergeant Bill Hooser will never be forgotten.
Detective Cody Tipler has a special connection to Sergeant Hooser.
Sergeant Hooser meant a lot to me and my family. He did a lot for me getting me out here. Started a whole new career with Santa Quin Police Department. Basically showed me a whole new area that I can introduce my family to, just to start a new life.
And believes his impact will be long felt by all.
Sergeant Hooser left a legacy here at the Santa Quin Police Department, and I think the day that he had fallen in line of duty, I think people have seen that, because we had people lined up on the streets, on the freeways, as we were taking his body to the medical examiner's office. So I think we have a huge, strong community support already, and I don't think that's going to change.
The department is working through grief together.
We, I think, are a lot more tight, a lot more together. We spend a lot of time together. We spend a lot of time outside work together. And they're all functions that a lot of times have to do with Bill still bringing us back together.
After a year,
every day I wish I could ask for his advice, to help me through the career, to help me as a person in general.
For future officers who never got to ask Sergeant Hooser for his advice, they'll still have access to it during their field training.
They will have an entire section dedicated to Bill. They'll learn about him, what he did, what he stood for, and that way, even though they didn't get to work with him, his legacy will live on.
The officers tell me that May 5th will always be a day to come together and focus on the incredible impact Sergeant Hooser made on the department during his time there, nearly 8 years. Reporting from the newsroom, Kate Garner, ABC4 News.